Yo, what's going on everybody? So one of my favorite streamers right now is Yasuo, or Mo as we know him. Obviously he is a Yasuo one trick, but right now he's been in Korea for around about 3 weeks and just grinding Korean solo queue. Now I knew Mo, I knew he'd get very high in the Korean server. A lot of people had their doubts. They were saying, oh, he's not going to break out a diamond. But I knew for sure after watching some of his VODs, his Yasuo was actually clean as fuck. And as you can see here, looking at his profile, 77% win ratio from 100 games. The only concern I had with him climbing on the Korean server was like, hey, what if he doesn't get this champion? It's banned pretty often, but he's doing fine. He's got 73% win rate in LeBlanc. He's been playing very well on other champions as well. So I'm going to be going over a review today looking at him versus Knight, who's actually probably one of the best solo queue mids right now. He was ranked 1 in Korea for such a long time. During Season 8, I did a lot of VOD reviews on this guy. So today we're going to be watching Mo, or Yasuo, versus him in solo queue and just styling him. So without further ado, let's get into today's gameplay. Okay, so heading into the game now, I quickly want to touch on the runes. Mo goes for the traditional Conqueror setup, but also for secondary he goes Domination. This setup scales much better. Later into the game, 4-5 stacks of Ravenous Hunter. You're healing like 30-40% health of a fully stacked Q into like a minion wave, into some jungle camps. You're healing a lot. Also doesn't give you as much room to move, however, in the early game. Without the bone plating that some Yasuos go, you're going to be taking a lot more damage, but in hindsight, you're sustaining a lot more if you're confident into the matchup. Mo's played thousands of Yasuo games. He knows how to play literally every matchup. Speaking of the matchups, this matchup does favor the Yasuo. All you really got to do is look to wait the Aatrox's cooldowns on Q. You can dodge the Qs with your E. You can dash into them, you can dash around them. And then you're simply all in after his Q cooldowns, because the Q cooldown early on is literally like 14-15 seconds. Obviously later into the game it scales down with cooldown reduction, but other than that, I think this matchup is heavily favored for Mo. But as always, the mid lane is a 2v2. You got to think about the jungles. Camille's actually DC'd, she just reconnected, but Mo's dueling with Tarzan here. Literally the world's best jungler right now for solo queues, so you'll see him play around the Lee Sin very often in this gameplay. Obviously has that R as well to help out. So this early laning phase, you can see Mo is playing it very slow, very smart. I don't think he knows that Camille is actually just like DC'd early. So you've got to always respect Camille's level 2, looking for mid. So he played it slow, he lets it shove into him. He doesn't want to take risks early, okay? Look at that little trade. He bursts in, bursts out. Electrocute proc, the Aatrox wins out in the trade. When you're playing Yasuo, you got to play very slow early game into this matchup. If you get caught up by the Aatrox's, if he hits all the sweep points on a Q, you're tanking 40-50% health. If he wants to all in with the Ignite, you're going to be taking a lot of health, so you got to play very careful early on. You'll see him more so wait for the Lee Sin to look for wraparounds. And you just really want to bring the lane to you. You want to have a very long lane as Yasuo. This means you can get a massive all. You have so much room to move. You can all in, but also you can pop back down as well if you keep the minion wave. Like right now, he can all in, and then he can also E all the way back to his turret very safely. The worst thing you can do early game is just hard extend all the time, because you're obviously going to get ganked. You don't have that many escape routes if you don't have the wave. The Lee Sin coming through, he drops the Ignite. You can see the Aatrox. Obviously Mo and Tarzan know this. There's no reason the Aatrox flashes like that unless his jungler is that side of the map. So they drop him down, the Braum comes through. Doesn't quite get the wind wall block on the Braum. Focusing down now, doesn't quite drop him. But they get the Camille. The Camille's so far behind now. Looking for the recall. He looks at the wave. You can tell the wave right now, it's not hard shoving. He doesn't need to collect it. It's sitting, it's a good spot. Goes for the double Dorans, the dagger, and a refillable. Not enough. Oh, he gets a control ward as well. This is like the perfect first back for the Yasuo. You'll see a lot of the best Yasuos in the world. They go that double Dorans. It's just such an efficient item. Lifesteal, attack damage, health. It's pure 1v1 prowess and sustain, which is exactly what you need. So you'll probably see Mo play very aggressive now. Even if he does take a bit of a chunk, he can sustain it back. So coming back into the lane, this is going to hard shove if Aatrox doesn't clear it out. Looking for a trade now. Can you see there how he's just using the minion wave to dash out? Camille hard ganks, uses the E to dodge it out. Playing very well. Chunks out the Aatrox. The Triumph's going to come in, kites it out with the E on the minion wave. This level 2 Camille gets that double kill, that 1v2. Fucking hell. He played that actually perfectly. There was not even a single misstep of that play. They're actually doomed now. Look at that wave that the Aatrox misses out on. It's huge. That is actually massive. So you're looking for a base in here. We'll see if he goes for the Berserker Greaves. It's a very aggressive buy on Yasuo's, but they like to go out early on to get a lot more 1v1 prowess, that MS speed, and the attack speed obviously just works so well with Yasuo. So drops in there. Still didn't drop that control ward, didn't really have time, honestly, just went straight in. Running back to lane now. I'm going to see where he drops it. Usually, like, I always value bot side control more so early on, especially if the Drake's like an Infernal. This Drake's a Mountain, it's not that much value, but we'll see where he places it. Also see what he does with the wave. Aatrox no flash, meaning if you cop a freeze here, we'll see if he does the 3 minion freeze. So if you clear that melee one there, you clear that, leave the wave, it's a perfect freeze. Most wave management here is actually, it's tremendous, it's very good. Aatrox is very short range and has to come very far into the wave if he wants to collect it. You can see here, it's already overextending. And Mo can use this wave to all in if he needs to. Aatrox still pretty tanky, keep on farm but. So Mo looks for the all in. Look how he uses that dash to dodge, look at that. He's taking no damage from the Qs. Now the cooldown, Aatrox has fucking nothing. Just like we talked about, the wave is very long. He can get all in and then he can pop straight back. Hard shove this. Aatrox losing massive waves. He's actually doomed. But no, Mo's been playing very well in Korea. I wasn't skeptical. I knew he was very good at Yasuo, but as I was saying earlier, it was just his off role and his other champions. I wasn't too sure on, but he's been playing fine on them. His mid lane is extremely good. He's mechanical, and he's actually smarter than I guess a lot of people assumed from playing on NA and streaming a lot. You see, he made a lot of mistakes in NA mainly because he's streaming, trying to make plays, but Tarzan looking for the dive. This Camille is actually doomed. Drops down there to the Aatrox, picks up a little bit of gold. Zion flanking through, they could get this all in. Mo's just waiting, he doesn't want to tank. Just let that Nautilus tank, let that Sion tank, fuck that. Getting some mid lane tower damage, very, very good onto that mid lane. Honestly, if he gets one more kill, he can just drop that. Or if Lee wants to hard commit, just come mid. He's 5-0 now. Looking for the hard shove, probably into a reset as well. Wonder how much gold he has. Obviously on that first base, not first base, on this next base, he wants to pick up a Zeal. The PD Rush is perfect for Yasuo's. And then your second item is either IE or Sterax. It just depends on the situation, or if you're really snowballing, the IE second is better, but if you're not, sometimes the Sterax is just better to kind of sustain yourself through the team fight without getting bursted. So picks up that Zeal, also picks up Control Ward. He already dropped that bot side Control Ward, so I'm just wondering if it is really needed. I think that was his bot side Control Ward. Just because in scenarios where you're ahead and you have a Control Ward that's in a good spot, you can contest it. If this Aatrox looks for that Control Ward there, you just all in him. There's no way he can clear that by himself, so I wouldn't call it a 75 gold waste, but it's team play, but I like to be a little bit selfish when I've got all of his kills on myself. This Aatrox, what the fuck is he doing? He's just testing numbers, honestly. The Moses carding in out, drops the Ignite. Does that Ignite work? I actually don't know. I'm assuming it does. You get less healing from the Aatrox ultimate. I actually don't know, but I assume it could have worked. Checking the race there. Roaming bot side, it's a bit of an all-in. Top side also nothing happening. Checks the race. When you're playing Yasuo, if you have any downtime, look enemy race, look your race. If you can't roam top, if you can't roam bot, if you don't have a mid lane wave, just clear the wraiths. There's so much gold there. And that's how you're getting those 9-10 CS per minute numbers that a lot of these Yasuos get, and give those consistent item spikes that you need. Moving back to lane now, I'd really want to see him drop that mid lane tower and then look for a 4-man bot with the Lee Sin. I don't think that they're not comming. Fucking hell, really good ultimate. I wouldn't actually, I'm not going to oversell it. I mean, Aatrox just literally just walks in without vision, gets knocked up. Mo picks up the free kill. I mean, some of these plays are good, but also you got to look at this Aatrox Knight. He's playing super aggro, and that's his style. He's not really a doper where he'll play passive. He's more of a faker. Where he'll just all in over and over and over, trying to use his mechanics. His mechanics here are just not trumping Yasuo's, but also you got to think about this Lee Sin is styling over the Camille. He has complete priority over the jungle, over the river, and he's just using this to his complete advantage. Diving into the Braum now. He maybe could have saved the Lee Sin there if he tanked the tower shots, waited for the W, but Mo says fuck that. I have 7, 8, 9 kills. My shutdown gold is just not worth risking. If he tanks there, he could save the lead. But in hindsight, you're that far ahead with such a gold shutdown. Lee Sin's only 3 kills. Fuck that. Do your own thing. I play greedy. I like this. Rank 1 jungler, he says, fuck you, dude. I'm hard carrying this game. I respect that. Respect that a lot. One thing a lot of players when they go to Korea, even when I went to Korea and I'm versing big names, I get a little bit nervous. I'm not too sure. I try and play with confidence, but I'm in and out. Mo just seems to not give a single fuck. He doesn't care about names. He just all-ins. He plays the matchup. He's played all of these. He's tested all of the numbers in these matchups when he's playing Yasuo. So, looking for the dive in here. Cyan's got a lot of health to play with on that tank, but he's going to drop down. Mo has no sums. Gets the ultimate onto the Braum. Can also probably drop the Sivir. Drops the Sivir as well. God damn. 11-0 at 10 minutes. Fucking hell. He should be able to drop this bot lane tower reset into the PD. Maybe even PD. We'll see how he buys. I think he'll go for the second item IE here. Just because of how far ahead he is. There's no really point doing Sterax. Like, you're just going to slice everybody like bread at this point if you get that IE in the early game. Around about 14-15 minutes would just be fucking absurd. 22 kills to 7 in this game. They have an 8k gold lead at 11 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 15-minute FF. Gets the PD, gets the BF, sells... Holy shit, he has enough for a pickaxe as well. Sells the refillable. Decides to stick on to the double Dorans just because he wants that extra lifesteal. Combined with the Ravenous Hunter. I mean, right now you can do a full-on trade, get down to half health, and then heal to full within like a wave or two. Ravenous Hunter, honestly, I think is broken. I like running it almost all... Whenever I have an opportunity to run it, I like to run it because when you're playing side lanes a lot, or even team fights, you just heal to full afterwards. It's beautiful. 3 level advantage on the Aatrox here. Just playing with utmost confidence right now. If it bounces back with a kill. We'll see if they look for this. Does Nautilus have ultimate? He does. Well, he gets that ultimate off onto the Victor. Camille's coming through. Doesn't quite dodge out. Now it's kiting it out. You can see that. You simply walk out of the turret range and just simply auto him. You're just going to slice him. He's literally 0-6 with only a cloth armor to boot. So they drop them down, get the mid lane tower. Right now, they have complete control of the game. I wouldn't like... honestly, just A-ramming towers is a pretty good option. One thing you don't want to do in this type of gameplay is to separate your lead from the team. If you side lane a lot with this type of lead, your team gets overconfident. I mean, obviously these are Korean challenges, you assume they know how to play, but a lot of times when I get this type of leads and I start side laning, my team assumes they're ahead as well, when a significant portion of the gold lead's on me. So they start playing without me, they all die and drop, so I'd like to see Mo just keep running down to mid, looking for these skirmishes. Until around 22-23 minutes, if this game goes to that stage, where you can actually start side laning bot side. So it looks like he's dropping down bot side here, but I don't know. I like it, but I hope hopefully he doesn't like hard commit for the side lane because side laning like this, obviously they need 2 or 3 to come and kill him. Maybe even, honestly, I think he could probably 1v3 at this point. He's that far ahead. But there's not much on the opposite side of the map for his team to take. Like usually there's a Baron and the Rift Herald, but there's honestly nothing up. So just grouping wouldn't be a bad option after you clears 1 or 2 waves in to get those CS numbers up. Aatrox bouncing back with some kills. Has that Ghost Blade completed. The one thing on this game, they have a Sivir. Sivir can wave clear pretty well, and it's also very hard for him to get onto the Sivir with the Braum. The Braum knockup, it's very hard to get on top of the carries, honestly. Getting those golems in. His team is just dropping. His team actually is just dropping without him. They have to realize, if you look at that scoreboard, 13-0, and then everybody else is just normal. Complete normal scores. Dropping in the bot side here. Camille's not going to fuck with the Yasuo. But watching Mo play in Korea, I'm not going to lie, I've done a couple of Mo reviews before, or maybe I've done one, and I said, I think he's one of the best Yasuos, but I'm not sure if he's number 1. Because there's a couple of Korean Yasuos who I've always assumed were just simply better, just because they're in Korea. I know that's a pretty bad bias to have, but I always have this like leniency to favor the Koreans, but right now, honestly, he's actually gonna drop 1250 fucking shutdown. Right now, I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave me a comment on the YouTube comments of if you think he's actually the world's best Yasuo. Because he's been playing so clean right now in Korea that I actually honestly think he may be the best Yasuo in the world. Okay, coming out of respawn now, you can see he's going for that Bloodthirst the third. Hasn't opted for the GA, hasn't opted for the Sterax. He's gone pure 1v1 or just like skirmish prowess. He's going to be getting massive heals, massive sustain. And honestly, at this point, you can 1v4, 1v5. You have that much sustain input with your Ravenous Hunter that it's just going to be absurd. I can't wait to watch how much damage he can dish out and also just sustain back. Looking for the all-in here. The Victor picks up a kill on the Lee Sin. So if he gets that dodge out. Drops the flash. The whole team's collapsing. So, ooh. Okay, he drops down there. That's unfortunate. A little bit of overconfidence, let's be real. That's actually trying to 1v5. I respect that all in, but it's also not needed. Just playing slow, playing 5v5 skirmishes is definitely going to give you the better result. There's still 8k gold ahead. I wouldn't really worry. But in this type of scenario, you've got to really be cautious of that you have all the gold on your team. And you should just slowly play objectives at this point. If your team is not grouped. If your team's grouped, just fucking run through them like a train. Coming back out of base now. He's still sitting on the double Dorans. If he had enough gold, I don't know how much gold he has, but I would definitely sell a Dorans for a stopwatch. I think a stopwatch is a really good item into this type of scenario just because the enemy team, they're all going to be saying focus Yasuo. You have to focus Yasuo. So you can bait them in, stopwatch, and your team can obviously dish out enough damage at that point in the game. Looking for that top lane side wave, but he notices it's a hard shove. Wants to run mid. Look for those fights. Doesn't have flash now, so has to be very cautious. Looking to hard shove in. Lee Sin's gonna split push that top side. Sign's coming through. This should be an inhibitor on this fight. Mo's actually 1v4. Doesn't get his ult. Okay, gets ultimate off on the Camille. Camille stopwatch. Just drops in, man. It's actually just 1v4, 1v5 scenarios. He has to play it a little bit slower, I think. Right now, they're throwing a bit of the gold lead over onto the enemy team. It's still like 8-9k gold lead, but it's honestly getting a little bit concerning. He's just going in 1v5, trying to style, which is one of the problems I had with how he plays in NA and stuff. He tries to go for those massive outplays that aren't needed to win the game, but are needed to kind of look good and look good for the stream. Heading out of base now. It seems like every base he's just run down mid and died. So he's got that stopwatch now to kind of bait them in a little bit. His flash is still 2.5 minutes off cooldown. So he's going to play pretty safe without it. Definitely can't keep running down and looking for those type of skirmishes. He has to wait. It's only 18 minutes. You cannot hard force into like 5 members. You've got to wait because they have too much CC. Running down, hovering behind the Nautilus here. Sion's going topside, Lee's clearing in the jungle. They're just looking to play it a little bit slow now. I think he knows now. He's kind of like, okay, I fucked up a couple of times playing it too aggro. I need to kind of slow the tempo down. Zero vision on the enemy team. Only sees Sivir Brawl mid. Wouldn't be surprised if they're sitting bot side somewhere looking for a pick. You can tell he's playing a little bit more cautious now. Rates are up. Do that. Be very quick clear here. Lee Sin's on Drake now. Is that... Ooh, fuck, Camille. Still has no flash. There's literally no way out. He drops again. These type of picks are... Honestly... Small mistakes that I think if he wasn't streaming, I don't think he would make, honestly. If he wasn't streaming and just kind of had an inner monologue in his head of just like... He doesn't need to make plays. He wouldn't kind of make these type of plays. So I wonder if Mo's climb without streaming, I wonder if he'd be challenger already. I'm not too sure. Coming out of base now. Enemy team is A-ramming mid. Baron is up. It's 20 minutes. There's no way they can commit for a Baron right now. It's a hook up onto the Victor. Mo goes all in. Kiting it out slowly. He has the Braum on him, but see that CC? He has the stopwatch. You can see that Ravenous Hunter heals quite a bit. He drops again. They're going to look Baron here now. The Ryze is split pushing bot side. Lee Sin's on red. They can Baron 100%. Sion... Wait, no. Sion has no teleport. I think they're going to all in for this while Ryze tries to make a trade on the bot lane inhib. But Ryze's shove is garbage. It's actually dog shit. So Lee Sin's going to have to look for a steal. But I'm not too sure if he's actually going to be able to get this steal in onto the Baron. There's a lot of CC on the enemy team. So you're going to play it really cautious. Moving topside now to clear the waves in. He has his flash now. He needs to utilize it in the next fight. I still think 100% in a 5v5 scenario, red team wins by far. But Mo cannot keep dropping like he is, okay? He needs, I mean, after the, like, you'd think after the second or third death, he's kind of saying, okay, I need to chill out a little bit, but he's got one mode and that says all in, hardcore, so he's just going to continuously do that. And honestly, in the next team fight, if he dies one more time and they get like an inhib, I actually think enemy team, very high chance of coming back into this game and taking it out. Victor overextend, gets the shutdown. Mo's in there, slicing them up, looking for Camille. Camille drops down. For the Braum now. Burns the flash for the Braum. I mean, I think it was good to get rid of the Baron. Do they get an ace? Okay, they ace it down. No Barons left. This should be an inhib. They could get 3 inhibs here or just look for 2 Nexus towers. I think maybe Nexus is kind of risky though. We'll see. In Korea, they honestly, like, Korea is different to NA and OS. If they see a win condition on the Nexus, they actually just go for it every time. And I've lost a lot of games simply by going for the end. We get to the Nexus, open Nexus, and then we get aced. It's actually fucking haunting. Okay, they're looking for the end here. Aatrox 15 seconds. They drop 1. Sign also has passive butt, which is always good if you can do this stuff at end. Just watching how Mo plays this. Cleans up. Misses that Q out in the Victor though. It doesn't really matter. He should be fine here. He's got that Ravenous Hunter to heal back up. Ooh, the Sipper Pizza Slice cleans him up though. There we go. The Sign passive is fucking cleaning it. Does Ryze get it? Jesus Christ. Okay, they end the game there. I think it was a beautiful game by Mo, by Yasuo. But there was massive flaws in a couple of those small picks. He made 3 or 4 very fatal errors where he just went out trying to like 1v9, 1v5 pretty much, and drops down there. You could see he kind of gave the enemy team a glimpse back into the game. At the end of the day, it didn't matter. He played that last team fight perfectly. And it was just really nice to see Mo playing this into Knight. You have to understand that Aatrox he was playing into is honestly one of the best mid laners right now in solo queue. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked up on a very high note team for next season. But all in all, his jungler definitely had the better game. Tarzan played almost perfectly in the early game to kind of enable Mo to do whatever the fuck he wanted. So without further ado, thanks for watching this replay, guys. I've wanted to cover this type of replay for a while now. My next replay, hopefully, is on Magi Felix. Give me a like and a comment if that's what you want to see. I'm trying to hunt down replays right now because OpGG isn't currently working for me. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.